I'm 66. Are you guys ready to cruise the mother road?
Ready.
Okay, let's get out there in that Corvette. Let's turn the key on. Let's put the pedal to the metal. Let's throw it in gear. And let's leave rubber all the way down Route 66.
U.S. Route 66, stretching over 2,000 miles between Chicago, Illinois, and Los Angeles, California's Santa Monica Pier. This road, originally conceived in 1926, has achieved nearly mythical status amongst U.S. highways.
Hey, what you doing, camera lady?
Hey, I'm getting ready for the Route 66 road trip.
Well, you know we're not taking the Jeep.
What? We're not taking the Jeep?
No, we're not taking
We're
the Jeep on
overlanding.
this trip. I know, but we're not taking the Jeep.
Oh, all right, I'll throw it in the Raptor.
Well, you know, we're not taking the Raptor either.
What?
We're not taking the Raptor either.
Okay.
We're taking that.
That.
Yep, that.
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 That. Vet?
That. This. We're taking this.
You realize everything, camping, food, everything has to go into this?
Yeah.
For the 6 days on the road?
Yeah,
All right, I'm up for the challenge.
I think I am too. You think that's overlanding?
I'm in the car. I'm driving over land.
And I am looking forward to it. What do we have for space in this beauty?
Well, we have no space.
That's your clothes. And that's taking up most of the trunk. So this could be an exercise in packing efficiency.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's going to take a lot of planning to get everything we need for 6 days into the trunk of this Corvette.
That is true.
But what vehicle is more appropriate for a road trip down America's Mother Road?
That is for sure.
All right, well, let's get figuring out how we're going to make this happen.
I'm ready.
All right, camera lady, we got it all in here. There it is.
Woohoo!
Enough food, camping gear, clothing for 6 days on the road without having to stop for any food. So we are set to go. Let's get this show on the road.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Now this is going to be a different type of overlanding trip than you've seen us do before. In fact, some may even argue that this isn't overlanding. But you know what? The definition of overlanding is so blurred and smeared at this point that I'm going to call this overlanding and challenge you to tell me that you don't think it is. We're going to be 6 days on the road. We're going to be living out of the vet, and we have all of our food, clothes, we've got water filtration. We're ready to go. So camera lady has always wanted to drive Route 66. It's just one of her bucket list items. And we thought, what is the best vehicle to drive Route 66? Well, America's sports car, the Corvette. So here we are. We're on our way down to Route 66. So right along, let's see how it goes. But before we get to Route 66, we are going to make a very cool detour stop. I'm going to tell you what that is when we get there and hopefully show you. I'm not sure they'll allow us to film, but if they do, we'll make sure that we get some good footage for you. So stick around. I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. I'm not quite sure what's going to go wrong, but I do expect something. So we'll see what that is. Yes, we are here to test drive the Ineos Grenadier. I am super excited about this. We just pulled in. There's someone coming back from the trail now. I am really excited. We do have a reservation for one of these. There's no commitment at this point, but we're really excited to check them out and see what they're like. So luckily, the day we were starting our trip, the Ineos Grenadier event was on our way to Route 66. So here we are. absolutely great time. We just got done driving the Grenadier off-road on one of the tracks south of Chicago, an off-road part. Sadly, they did not let us film from inside the truck. Since these are prototypes, they didn't want a bunch of video out there of unfinished interiors and that sort of thing. But I can tell you, this thing was impressive off-road. It took everything you threw at it with ease. So one of the nostalgic gems of driving the side roads, what is when you were on a trip and you had to stop for a train? Not all that common these days, but on the old roads, all the time. We've just picked up Route 66. This road that we're on is called Old Route 66, but if you can look over to the right, that is the original Route 66 that is now just kind of overgrown, but you can see where the road was. So they've moved it a little bit here on us, but it's kind of neat to have that old road tracking alongside of us. So we picked up Route 66 in Pontiac, Illinois, and we're now remembering the joys of two-lane traffic by following a rock truck who I'm hoping to get around very quickly before any rocks decide to pop out the back. And one thing that always comes to mind when you think about Route 66 is giant plastic figures. And here in Atlanta, Illinois, we have a prime example of a Paul Bunyan who never got to hold his axe, but instead is holding a large hot dog. Now this dude stood on top of Bunyan's restaurant in Cicero, Illinois for a number of years before the new owner decided he didn't want it. So here it comes to Atlanta, and they have a perfect spot for him right amongst the trees that you know he wishes he was chopping down. So here's a bit of a juxtaposition on Old Route 66. We just saw Paul Bunyan back there with the hot dog. And now to show you how much times have changed, parked right by Paul is a brand new Rivian electric pickup truck. So I guess, as they say, time marches on. Since we're in Illinois, there has to be a giant Abe Lincoln somewhere on Route 66. And here we are, Abe Lincoln reading a book while in his chuck wagon. Sadly though, it looks like there was some pretty gusty conditions here, and the wagon is under repair with one wheel entirely gone. So I'm not sure where you find giant chuck wagon wheel repairmen these days, but certainly they found someone. We made it to our campsite before dark. We got the tent up. This is a new Mountain Smith tent. This will be our first time using it. It was a stellar deal. We got that from Mountain Smith. I think we paid $109 for this 3-person tent. We are getting dinner ready. For this trip, we brought the little Solo Light and back up with ethanol. It's dark. We're not finding a lot of small wood, so we're going to go ahead and use ethanol. We're going to try a new peak refuel meal, which is butternut dal bhat, which is basically lentils, chickpeas, rice. So we're looking forward to that. Nice little campground here. We're at the Onondaga Park in, well, near Rolla, Missouri. Pretty quiet. We got the camp hosts up here. But other than that, it is a pretty quiet night here. So we're looking forward to just chilling and enjoying the evening. All right, well, first day is behind us.
It was a good day.
It was a good day. I think it took me a little while to come to grips with the fact that you're doing lots of turns around and figuring out which way you're supposed to go because you made the wrong turn.
Yeah.
So
A little bit of that.
yeah, other than that, it was really fun. The guidebook was, well, here's a tip. Don't be in a hurry if you're trying to follow Old Route 66, because sometimes there's signs, other times there's not. And the guidebook, which we thought was supposed to be a really good guidebook that has maps all over in it, is pretty, what would you call it?
Confusing.
Confusing is a good word for it, yes. it didn't clarify the directions. So,
Confusing at times. Other times, right on.
yeah. What was your favorite stuff?
Ooh, I liked the really windy, narrow section that was like north of Millwood.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was cool.
That was tight. Even in the Corvette, that was tight. So what you find is you'll be driving. There's multiple sections of the road. There's the old original 1926 to 1939 or something like that section, and then there's a newer section. And what'll happen is you'll be driving on the newer section, and then it'll have a sign that says, you know, Route 66, 1926 to 35 route. So you'll pop off on that, and you'll find an old, less maintained, often quite curvy section of road that winds you a couple miles out of the way and then right back onto the road that you were on. So it's more of a, I guess, side trip than it is actually the Route 66, but it's cool because you get to see the old road and how it twisted and turned and why it probably took those guys a long time to get from Chicago to LA. I kind of like the Giants. Big plastic bunion with the hot dog was pretty entertaining.
That's hilarious.
Yep. So tomorrow, we're making our way. We're camped now, as I mentioned, by Rolla, Missouri. We've got a little sprinkle starting. It's kind of sprinkled on and off since we've gotten here. And so we're expecting potentially rain in the morning when we get up. But tomorrow the plan is to make our way over to basically Edmond, Oklahoma, and camp there for the night. Hopefully we see a lot of interesting things, and hopefully the road opens up a little bit. Like all the roads east of the Mississippi, it's busy. And you go through the towns, and the towns are busy in that. It's neat. You get to see some really cool places. But hopefully it opens up a bit and you can make a little better time once we get into Oklahoma. Well, good morning. We have the coffee all made. Had a great night here last night. This place is full of owls all night. You could hear those things talking to one another. It was a little wet. We got here just about dusk, and it was really hot and humid, just really humid. And all night it was kind of damp in the tent. We had a lot of condensation in the morning, so jury's still out on the new Mountain Smith as far as ventilation. And we did get a few sprinkles, but other than that, it was a nice night. The morning is fantastic. We have the coffee made, like I said. We're getting ready to pack up the Corvette, Corvette, and we're going to head to Edmond, Oklahoma tonight. That's where we're going to camp. And on our way, we hope we see some pretty awesome sights. So we'll see you along the way.
That's nice for the video.
So here we are. We're in Fanning, Missouri, along Route 66, and we've come across the world famous Route 66 massively giant rocking chair. It looks like it's made out of oil drilling equipment, and I'm not sure who gets to sit in that beast, but we had to stop and give you a look at this roadside oddity. So this is an interesting section of Route 66. It was built circa World War II, and they put a 4-lane in to get more traffic able to get into Fort Leonard Wood for the war effort. It's like 3.2 miles of 4-lane, and it's the deepest cut through the limestone of Route 66 in Missouri. The old original road went to the north and went around the hills.
And it's bumpy.
And it's bumpy.
And this will be off and on. Where are y'all from? Must be the same today, I would think.
Pretty close, I bet.
Probably another 30 minutes or 40 minutes west, y'all be out of this
Good.
mess.
All right.
But it'll be off and on out here all day. Y'all relax, take your time, look around. That's all.
No, just like the
Oh, I got you. I guess it's more compact in the office.
There you go.
Are y'all having a good time of things?
Yeah, oh yes, for sure.
Well, that's what it's all about, my friends.
Uh-huh.
Poster? Yeah.
It's been raining all day. We finally have a break in the weather and we're stopping at this old Phillips 66 station in Spencer, Missouri. We're gonna have some lunch. It's a dehydrated, home job dehydrated,
Home job?
home job,
That's made with love, babe.
made with love, black bean and couscous salad of some sort.
There you go.
It's gonna be delicious.